Congresswoman Cammack of Florida, member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, Agriculture, and Select Subcommittee on Government Weaponization. I want to start, first of all, with just busting some myths. So, and if we had that from Aisha's story, you would see it's an average of 5,000 a day. That means that it could go up to 8,500 on any given day, as long as the rest of the days of the week were less than that, and the average are 5. I don't know that that moves the ball down the road all that much when we had 10,000 a day just a short time ago.
Yeah, it's exactly, Harris. It's good to see you. I am absolutely shocked that anyone is even considering this garbage package. And as you mentioned, Biden is going to be putting more pressure on the Senate and the House, really going to the American people, trying to sell this knockoff of a border deal. It's like they were trying to sell us on Gucci, but really it's the package that the guy around the corner in the alley pulled out of his trunk. That is basically the equivalent of what this border bill is. But fear not. He certainly is going to be going to TikTok to get his talking points. This is not a border security package. This is a Ukraine package. This is aid for Palestinians package. This is assistance to Arab partners package. This is not border security. This is a way for them to parole people into the United States faster. You are not securing the border in this package, and we would do well not to lie to the American people and try to sell them on that. They already are pissed. We need to make sure that they understand that this is not a border security package, because they know that it's not. They can read. We all can read. It's in black and white. This is not border security.
You know, over the weekend, everybody was waiting for this thing to drop, and it was Friday. They didn't want it to be the late night, Friday night news dump. And then it became Sunday, late Sunday. And all of that time, that gave a lot of you on the Hill to really maybe talk about what would need to be in it, because it was we already knew some parts of it. What does this have to look like once it gets to the House? Is there any part of it that you say, yeah, we can work with that?
Well, first and foremost, it has to be the border has to be the priority in this bill. And you can see just based on the numbers that Ukraine has a significant lion's share of the funding element.
Right.
And the funding element that goes to the border is just to increase the processors who are moving people through faster. It offers citizenship to Afghan parolees. It creates more visas. It's basically just increasing the incentives for people to come here illegally and reward them for engaging in illegal action. We passed our border security package last year. It's called HR 2, and it actually secures the border. It addresses the human trafficking at the border. It addresses narcotics. It addresses the humanitarian, the public health, and national security challenges at the border. It's a real border package. That's what would have to happen for us to actually agree to any sort of border security package.
So you mentioned TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's not miss it. It's another issue that needs to be addressed now. 60 Minutes with this report on illegal immigrants using Chinese-owned apps to cross the border. I mean, TikTok is China's. Watch this.
We wondered how all of these migrants knew about this particular entryway into California. The answer was in their hands.
How do you know about that? Oh, Douyin, okay, TikTok.
Oh, you learned on TikTok. Yeah. TikTok is a social media platform created in China. The post we found had step-by-step instructions for hiring smugglers and detailed directions to that hole we visited.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. I mean, Harris, this is just incredible. We've known about the social media companies being complicit with human trafficking. All you have to do on any one of those platforms is type in Cruzando la Frontera, and you will find traffickers who are willing to take you to anywhere in the United States for a price. And you actually get the phone numbers to call, the pricing, how to send the money. And again, when we called out the social media companies, they said, well, we need to be sensitive to those that are trying to escape persecution, that have legitimate human rights issues. But they totally ignore the fact that women and children are being trafficked and abused at the border. They don't want to acknowledge that. So this whole TikTok thing is no surprise. And let us not forget that Joe Biden just last week, he suspended LNG exports because of a TikTok trend. Our adversaries know that the White House is taking its marching orders from TikTok. That is dangerous stuff. We have got to get control and put the real adults in charge, because this ain't it.
All right, we'll move to this. We're learning more about last weekend's vicious attack on New York police officers in Times Square, and the U.S. Customs and Border Protection reportedly issued warrants for some of those suspects. A source is telling Fox that some of them may have fled to California, another sanctuary state, using fake names and taxpayer-funded bus tickets. Well, yeah, I mean, they're here, and they have access to things that are given to people who are here legally. They get that free transportation. The policies of Manhattan's far-left district attorney Alvin Bragg got those suspects out of jail without bail. Zero bail. He now says grand jury charges are coming this week. Well, how's he going to catch them? Reports of yet another benefit for these families illegally coming to our nation, a new Big Apple program that would dole out $53 million and prepaid credit cards for those sheltered in New York City hotels to buy food and other supplies. So they could have stuck around and, you know, engaged in whatever was free here and then got the free ticket to go west. Congresswoman.
Oh man, Harris, I don't even know where to start. You've heard me say it 1,000 times before. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. All these blue states and cities, they're really reaping what they have sown. But I think 50 Cent, the rapper, he really called it all out for people to see how ridiculous this is. I mean, when you have 50 Cent saying that maybe Trump was right to be as tough as he was when it came to border security, that should be a wake-up call across America to all the Democrats who think that they have the African-American vote in the bag, and particularly young people in the bag. But don't forget, Harris, that they being the liberal left, they raided the $130 million emergency assistance to homeless veterans pot of money and gave it to the illegals for bus tickets and plane tickets and hotel rooms. $130 million for homeless veterans directly rerouted to illegals. This is nothing new. We shouldn't be surprised, but the arrogance when we see those illegals flipping off cameras, it's because they know that there is no one stopping them. They have no fear, and this is what happens when you have George Soros-funded DAs, when you have blue cities and states that think that they are not to account for anything. They think that they are above the law, they can make their own laws, and they are reaping what they have sown.
Well, it's interesting. They didn't go to Florida.
They would know better.
Yeah, they would know better. I mean, even your husband is part of the law enforcement and EMT community down there. You don't mess with Florida. It's much like Texas.
Don't mess with Florida, man.
We'll get into the bill more as we read more of it this week, and it heads to the House. Thank you.
Hey, good to see you, Harris.
You too.